The forum will first hear the voluntary national review by Palau, and I invite His Excellency Minister of Health and Human Services of Palau to make a presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, President. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. It is our honor and pleasure to present Palau's second VNR. And I must say, the excitement in the room is quite exciting today. In line with our culture, we'd like to first open our presentation with a Palauan traditional chant, which will be delivered by my co-presenter, Ms. Raya Antonio.
Oh, the swakle. Oh, the swakle lang. Emma the malasoyang. Aleru bakaledeng makngit. Ya the tal bakale. Ngungin mandakadogoliyang. Emma lakadogole. Tokmo adalbor the som. Melosar iya the som. Baila kadogole. Edoigal nguaroy diyang. Ema the malasoyang. Aktim ruredim le. Aktim le malige the geraw. Amruram lith. Mokamakaliem sili. Ema the malasoya. Akmatule mo makaliyang.
Thank you so much, Ms. Antonio. Since our initial report in 2019, Palau has weathered natural disasters, encroachment by climate change, and the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic. Reflecting on these challenges, we have borrowed the phrase, "Build Back Better" from the Sendai framework. This is a fitting theme for us moving towards 2030, building on the lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic, the most difficult period in our 30 years of independence. As a small island but large ocean state, Palau stands on the world stage to advocate for climate action, ocean preservation, and peace and justice for all. At home, we strive to empower our people, build our economy, and protect the environment while leaving no one behind. Our VNR is organized around 5 pillars: culture, people, prosperity, planet, and partnership. It incorporates 115 targets, of which 30% are on track to be achieved by 2030. Palau's culture has evolved over the millennia, shaped by and shaping the natural environment and forging a harmonious society that leaves no one behind. Independent Palau crafted a modern governance system that safeguards traditional governance and culture. Our elected officials and traditional leaders work collaboratively to nurture a vibrant culture as a legacy for the future, a means of implementing the SDGs, and a strategy to build back better. Our focus on empowering people aligns with our national priority, Uherbelau, meaning Palauan people first. With this priority, our government prioritizes the Palauans' well-being, expanding social protections beyond the elderly and disabled to include children and low-income families. We are proud to provide universal health care access for our people and have major investments in our health sector. But like many, we still face many challenges in health, including non-communicable diseases and mental health. We strive to address these challenges through community initiatives, funding prevention programs, promoting active lifestyles, and improving school nutrition and education. We're also addressing gender-based violence and human trafficking. I particularly want to highlight several of our national initiatives. So with support from Congress, 10% of taxes collected on alcohol and tobacco are set aside to finance NCD control work through a small grant facility launched in 2017 to support community innovations, many of which address important social determinants of health. In prioritizing health and education, our education ministry has made school meals examples of healthy eating and have worked with Rotary to ensure the availability of physical activity facilities in most public schools and promotes physical education at least 2 to 3 days a week. Furthermore, the ministry strives to improve the quality of teaching and learning and has introduced year-round schooling and expanded use of information technology. They now offer remote learning for high school students living in outlying islands, particularly important for students with disabilities who cannot easily relocate for high school. We're also addressing food insecurity and health threats, also caused by high reliance on imported and unhealthy processed foods. With our Qaleth Angar Aleth, or Our Food is Our Responsibility initiative, we aim to triple local food production by 2030, employing modern, yet culturally and environmentally sustainable and climate resilient blue and green food systems. Like other large ocean states, Palau's tourism industry collapsed during the pandemic and economic growth regressed. To restore growth, Palau strives to build back better with climate resilient economic diversification, entrepreneurship, sustainable tourism, and harnessing new opportunities driven by information technology. A national infrastructure investment plan prioritizes climate resilience and includes plans for a new hospital and a new K-12 school in our largest rural area. Likewise, a new national youth policy seeks to empower and incentivize our youth, and a forthcoming labor policy will strengthen our national workforce. Life in harmony with nature is enshrined in Palauan culture. Palau sustainably manages 100% of its marine areas and conserves 20% of its terrestrial areas, implementing its Blue Prosperity Plan that prioritizes marine spatial planning, domestic offshore fisheries development, and restorative aquaculture. Earlier this year, Palau opened the largest solar energy facilities in the region and launched the second edition of our climate change policy. Regionally, we are committed to the 2050 Blue Pacific Continent Strategy and co-lead the Unlocking Blue Pacific Prosperity. Globally, we were the first SIDS to host our Oceans Conference in 2022. We're the first to ratify the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction Treaty, the first to advocate for a moratorium on deep-sea mining, and are committed to an ambitious plastics treaty that addresses plastic pollution throughout its life cycle. As we heard in the opening chant, which speaks of unity and the spirit of collaboration, in implementing the SDGs, Palau walks together with like-minded partners, and we celebrate our many partners, including those in the room today. Moving towards 2030, we strive to strengthen existing partnerships while creating new ones. While we are proud of our achievements, we are still cognizant of the many challenges that we still need to address. Palau emphasizes that our people are what define our country, and therefore their health and well-being is paramount and underscores our work. Our youth will inherit the world we leave behind. I'd like to welcome back Ms. Raya Antonio, who is the chairperson of our National Youth and Uherbelau Council, to speak on behalf of Palau's youth.
Thank you, Minister, and I bring warm greetings to all from Palau's youth. I'm a typical young Palauan. I was raised by my mother and grandparents, surrounded by friends and family. Nothing specific in my upbringing prepared me to speak in this forum. I have benefited, however, from coming involved with youth at national, regional, and now global levels. From these experiences, I realized that across cultures, we have more similarities than differences. One key similarity that I see as a youth is that we tend to look to our elders, who have more years of experience in life for security and guidance. However, I also see that the youth have been knowledgeable and skilled enough to contribute in various spaces. With these skills and understanding, we have to acknowledge our potential to influence society. In other words, we must take on the responsibility of guiding not only ourselves, but our peers as well. Today, many of Palau's youth are struggling with mental health. Our changing lifestyle plays a huge role. I sense that many of us feel adrift, caught between two worlds, and fear the loss of our Palauan identity. In spite of these uncertain times, I have a message of hope for my fellow Palauan youth. One of our strongest cultural values is a sense of duty and responsibility. It is time that we, the youth, learn to practice and express this cultural value even though we are still young. We acknowledge that we lack experience and need guidance from our elders. However, we need to secure our voice and our roles in our homes and communities while still respecting the elders and leaders who guide us. We must maximize all our resources, leaving no one behind, and every citizen, young and old, must be empowered for us to move forward. To conclude, let us embody the Palauan spirit of bekall, the concept of paddling forward together, navigating changing tides towards a horizon of sustainable development and resilience. Thank you.
I thank the Minister of Health and Human Services of Palau and the youth leader for their presentation.